What's going on YouTube? ShadowFox4562 here, coming to you with a Prophecy deck thingy-majigger, kind of like a Prophecy update, just since Cosmo Blazer has been released and there have been spellbooks confirmed in Road to the Tachyon Galaxy. So first, I'd like to say that I love Spellbook of the Master. It's an amazing card. Getting 2 searches off a Priestess with a power is ridiculous, and making her 4,500 is awesome as well. Anyway, the reason I wanted to talk to you about this is what a lot of people don't realize is this deck is going to become the Zexal version of Teledad. And let me explain what I mean by that. Back in, I believe it was like 2008, 2009, 2008, we had this pack released called Phantom Darkness. And Phantom Darkness came with this card called Dark Arm Dragon. Dark Arm Dragon was a 2800 attack point monster. You know, it was decent for its day. It was very highly sought after. It was going around $100 when it first came out. Now, after a while, and people finally figured out how to start working this deck, they made this this deck called Ohm OTK, or FTK, which basically revolved around Dark Magician of Chaos, Dark Armed, and swarming your opponent, burning them to death, and just generally all around attacking for game. After that, Light of Destruction came out. Light of Destruction basically put an end helped along with the ban list that came out, put an end to most of the shenanigans that Dark Arm decks and the OTK decks could do. But then Konami announced Synchros, and in the first pack they came out with this card called Emergency Teleport. Emergency Teleport, for those of you guys who don't know, allows you to special summon any Psychic Tuner that's level 3 or lower from your deck to the field. So people started naming decks Teledad. They would run 3 Dark Arm Dragons, 3 Emergency Teleports, 3 Destiny Hero Malicious, 3 Stratos, 3 D-Draw, and they would just synchro like crazy and set up their grave, and then they would special summon 3 Dark Arm Dragons and call game. Now, that deck was so powerful that if you ran any other deck that format, you would not top. It was a tier 0 deck. We have only had one tier 0 deck in this game so far, and that is Teledad. But guys, with Divine Judgment of the Spellbook, Prophecy is about to become that second tier 0 deck. In case y'all haven't heard yet, Divine Judgment of the Spellbook is a quick play spell card, and its effect is during the end phase of the turn you activated this card, add any number of Spellbook spell cards from your deck to your hand, except Divine Judgment of the Spellbooks, up to the number of spell cards activated this turn. Then you get to special summon 1 spellcaster type monster with a level less than or equal to the number of cards you added to your hand this way, from your deck. You can only activate Divine Judgment of the Spellbooks once per turn. So, what does that do for you with Spellbooks? Why will it make it so broken? Spellbooks will become broken because, let's think about this for a second. How many spells do you usually activate in a turn if you are not running Spellbooks? Let's say you're running, oh, I don't know, what's the top tier deck right now? Dino Rabbit. You're probably going to activate 1 or 2 spells per turn, which isn't great, but even 2 Spellbooks plus Divine Judgment of the Spellbooks is a 3. You get to add 3 Spellbooks to your hand, which is going to be a Secrets, a Power, and a Wisdom, depending on your situation, and you are also going to add a Justice of Prophecy to the field, which in turn is going to banish itself at the end of the turn due to its effect to get you another Spellbook and a High Priestess. So even if your opponent only activates 2 spell cards, it doesn't matter. You've already set up your hand. They can't do anything about it, and they cannot stop your Priestess summon because they're either going to bottomless it or they're going to warning it. And what's going to happen if they warning it? You're going to bring it back with a life, and if they try and bottomless it, you're going to negate it with wisdom. Now, on to the more insane part of this video, or why this card is good. This is my spellbook deck. This is my spell lineup. It has close to 20 spells in the deck, and on average, I activate about 5 a turn. Now, that might seem a little excessive for you guys, but let's think about that. I can activate any of my spellbook cards without facing any repercussions because I'm going to get them all back at the end of the turn. Plus, I get to special summon a level 6 or lower spellcaster from my deck to the field. That's ridiculous. And you know what? It doesn't even say spellbook or prophecy monster on the spellbook card. It says spellcaster type monster. You can summon any level spellcaster type monster equal to the number of cards you activated. That's so insane. And you know, to all those people who were saying like mega capital G, and I love you, bro, you know, this isn't a knock against you. When you said in your video a couple nights ago that you wanted broken cards, you didn't want good cards, you wanted broken cards from Konami, well, look what you went and did, because obviously a Konami rep was watching your video and was like, ooh, let's make this card do this. Because originally it said spellbook spell cards, and now the translation says just spell cards. So that means if your opponent activates Heavy Storm and you chain this, guess what? You get a special summon a level 2 or 1 spellcaster from your deck. That's insane. Alright guys, well, those are just my thoughts on the Prophecy deck and how it's going to become tier 0, and nothing is going to compete against it. Until next time, this is ShadowFox4562. Peace.